The Little Teapot's Big Adventure. On a quiet street corner where the brick roads glistened with morning dew, there stood a quaint tea shop known as Willow and Amp Whistle. The shop was filled with the comforting aroma of fresh tea leaves and the faint sweetness of baked pastries. Inside, the shelves were lined with teapots of all shapes and sizes. Sleek porcelain ones, grand cast iron pots, and delicate floral patterned designs that seemed to tell stories of their own. Among them sat a little teapot named Pip. Unlike the others, Pip was not shiny or new. His porcelain was worn, his once bright glaze had faded to a soft matte finish, and his spout was slightly crooked, making him look perpetually tilted, as though he were leaning in to listen. His handle bore a small crack, one that had long since been smoothed over by time. While other teapots found homes with eager customers, Pip remained on the same shelf, year after year, watching the world move on without him. The bustling tea shop brought a steady stream of visitors, each admiring the polished teapots on display. Pip often listened as they exclaimed, "How lovely!" or "What a perfect teapot!" But no one ever looked his way. "Why would anyone choose me?" Pip would sigh, feeling a pang of sadness. The other teapots, proud and polished, whispered among themselves. "It's no surprise," they said. "Who would want a teapot with so many flaws?" Pip tried to ignore them, but deep down their words stung. One crisp November morning, the shop was quiet save for the sound of leaves rustling against the windows. The bell above the door jingled softly, announcing the arrival of an elderly man. He shuffled in slowly, his shoes tapping lightly against the wooden floor. His name was Mr. Oliver, a retired clockmaker who lived alone in a little house just down the street. His scarf was worn but neatly wrapped, and his glasses sat slightly askew on his nose. He paused to take in the warmth of the shop before greeting the shopkeeper. "Good morning, Mr. Oliver," said the cheerful shopkeeper. "How can I help you today?" "I'm looking for a teapot," Mr. Oliver replied, his voice calm and steady. "My old one's finally given up on me." "Well, you've come to the right place. We just got some lovely new teapots in stock," the shopkeeper said, gesturing toward a shelf filled with gleaming designs. But Mr. Oliver's gaze wandered past the shiny new arrivals and landed on the shelf below, where Pip sat quietly. His eyes softened as he noticed the little teapot's crooked spout and the faint crack in his handle. "This one," he said, pointing to Pip. The shopkeeper blinked in surprise. "Are you sure? That one's, well, it's a bit worn. We have others that are." "Perfect," Mr. Oliver finished with a chuckle. "I don't need perfect. I need something with a bit of character. This one will do just fine." Pip could hardly believe his ears. Someone had chosen him, not out of pity, but because they saw something special in him. At Mr. Oliver's home, Pip discovered a world full of warmth and charm. The little house was cozy, with shelves brimming with books and a soft orange cat named Marmalade, who often curled up by the fireplace. The kitchen smelled of cinnamon and baked apples, and the sunlight streamed through lace curtains, casting delicate patterns on the wooden floor. Mr. Oliver placed Pip on the counter and filled him with water and loose tea leaves. "Let's see how you do, old friend," he said kindly. As Mr. Oliver poured the tea, Pip held his breath, worried that his crooked spout might spill the tea unevenly. But to his surprise, the golden liquid flowed smoothly, filling the cup perfectly. Mr. Oliver smiled. "You see? Just the right fit." From that day on, Pip became an essential part of Mr. Oliver's life. Every morning, the two shared quiet moments together as the kettle hummed and the tea brewed. Pip loved hearing the sound of Marmalade's gentle purring and the faint creak of Mr. Oliver's rocking chair as he read his favorite books by the window. Over time, Pip became more than just a teapot. Mr. Oliver began inviting neighbors over for afternoon tea, and soon, the little house was filled with laughter and conversation. People admired Pip, not for his imperfections, but for the warmth he brought to the table. One snowy afternoon, a young girl named Lucy came with her mother to visit Mr. Oliver. As they sipped their tea, Lucy leaned forward, examining Pip closely. "I like this teapot," she said. "It's different. It looks like it's smiling." Pip's heart swelled with pride. For the first time, he realized that his imperfections were what made him unique. As the seasons passed, Pip found joy in the little things: a warm kitchen, the sound of friends' laughter, and the gentle care of Mr. Oliver. He no longer wished to be shiny or perfect, for he had learned that love and purpose could make anyone feel whole. And so, in the little house on the quiet street, Pip found a home where he would always belong, a reminder that even the smallest, most imperfect things can bring the greatest warmth and joy.